With Dr. Ken Wolgemuth, and maybe you can just tell us like a background of where you went to school and got your degrees from.
Well, again, I'll just repeat it. My name is Ken Wolgemuth, and I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Wheaton College. After that, I then went to graduate school at Columbia University in New York City, and I obtained a master's and PhD in geochemistry with a topic on studying chemistry in the oceans.
You gave a talk on radiocarbon dating, and I was just wondering how accurate is radiocarbon dating?
Okay, radiocarbon dating is a technique that is used to measure the amount of carbon-14 that is in organic materials such as wood and bones and some limestones. And over a period of about 20 to 30 to 40,000 years, it has an accuracy within about from 1 to 3 to 5%, depending on the nature of the samples and the time period. Beyond about 30 to 40,000 years, then it would have an accuracy maybe in the range of 10 to 15% or 20%, again depending on the quality of the samples.
There seems to be a controversy between young Earth creationists, old Earth creationists about the age of the Earth and radiocarbon dating. And some believe that the flood changed it, so now we're getting real old readings when it should be really young, and I was just wondering what comments you would have on that.
Okay. Issues related to the age of the Earth do not come from radiocarbon as a methodology, because the half-life of radiocarbon is 5,730 years. So that gives a maximum age that can be used for something related to radiocarbon at about 45 to 50,000 years. So that's not related to the age of the Earth at all. Your comment about Noah's flood is that those folks that are young Earth advocates propose that Noah's flood changed the amount of carbon-14 in the Earth in a variety of ways, and they chose to they make a choice to claim that there was a lot of changes at Noah's flood, but the data that we have in tree rings shows there were no such changes.
Okay, I was wondering about Noah's flood. They say it goes back 4,000 or 6,000 years ago, and is there any changes that you see in the tree rings?
Everything I've heard about Noah's flood, that it's considered to have occurred from a biblical record sometime between 4,000 and 5,000 years, so I'm just fine with that. The comments that are made that Noah's flood changed the amounts of radiocarbon in various parts of the atmosphere and in the ocean are not supported by the data that we find, because the tree ring record that goes back to about 12,000 years shows a very uniform carbon-14 record from today back to 12,000 years. No evidence of Noah's flood dramatically impacting the carbon-14 in the atmosphere.
There's another question. Some say that in the tree rings that they grew multiple rings, and so you can't say one ring equals 1 year. What would you have to say about that?
I have certainly read that biologists have found that there are some trees that will grow multiple rings per year, maybe 2 rings per year, and that happens occasionally. But biologists have never said that I've heard that these trees would all consistently always grow multiple rings per year, which would be necessary for that concern to be a major disruption to this general method.
And they've also compared it to Varies and other ice cores?
The tree ring counting that goes back in time to 12,000 years has also been consistently compared to sedimentary varves, which are a type of sediment that are formed on an annual basis because ice-covered lakes have only clay that is sinking to the bottom as dark layers, and then in the spring, when diatoms and plants and animals grow in the water, those shells fall to the bottom and make a white layer. So there's evidence of annual cycles of varves also. And tree rings and varves and radiocarbon are compared together to give more confidence that when we're going back to this 12,000 year window, we have three different measures that all give the same results.
What about, some say that it seems to be pretty accurate back like 3,000 years, and then there's a big change in cosmic rays or something after that, and you have to calibrate it. The calibration is way off.
The calibration curves that I showed in my talk at this conference that are done with tree rings go back about 12,000 years, and there is no dichotomy, there is no change at a 3,000 year time window. It goes consistently back to about 12,000 years with a fairly uniform calibration curve, subject to the fairly minor changes in the production of radiocarbon in the upper atmosphere with cosmic rays that bombard to our Earth.
Okay, another question comes up about testing a live mollusk and finding that it's 3,000 years old.
Okay, that's a situation where tree rings and animals that are eating trees and plants are getting their carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which has a level of carbon-14 that is directly impacted from its source of being generated in the upper atmosphere. A mollusk is living in a marine environment, say a shallow, near shore in the sea setting, and it's not getting its carbon dioxide directly from the atmosphere. It's getting its carbon in marine waters that are dramatically impacted by limestones that have been around for millions of years. So it has a lot of carbon in the system there that has no carbon-14 in it. So it appears old even though it's living today.
Okay, I was wondering also, you're connected with Solid Rock Lectures. Maybe you can just say a word about that?
Yeah. Solid Rock Lectures is an organization that several colleagues and I founded with the objective and the mission to bring the evidence of old Earth creation to the church that helps to remove a stumbling block with the context of misleading science that tends to be scattered in the church at the present time.
Okay, is there any other comments that you'd like to make or books to recommend? Or do you have a certain website?
We do have a website under the name of Solid Rock Lectures that we'd invite people to go to.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your help in this.